Hello and welcome to Planet Hope, the programme dedicated to the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. Today we're looking at objective number 1 and eradicating poverty, ensuring sustainable development. For that, we need to head to Gaza. Turn on the tap here and the water coming out could be anything but clear. 80% of the population has no access to drinking water. But that's where the World Bank and the French Development Agency come in. Along with other partners, they're building the biggest ever treatment plant in Gaza and are currently developing a programme in the north of the Strip which will reduce health risks to the population and limit the impact of effluents on the environment. And it has to work. According to the UN, if sanitary conditions in Gaza don't improve drastically by 2020, the enclave will no longer be livable. Gallagher Fenwick has this report.
In Gaza, wastewater is more than just a source of pollution. It's a constant threat to this small coastal enclave. 1.6 million Palestinians live in this territory. It spans across no more than 360 square kilometers and has been under an Israeli-imposed blockade since 2007. Engineer Saadi Ali is one of the key local players when it comes to issues involving treatment plants. He supervised this facility for several years before it was declared obsolete.
The facilities is undersized. It is designed for 5,000 cubic meter. Today it's receiving 25,000 cubic meters, so it is receiving 5 times the design capacity.
Wastewater coming from 4 different neighboring towns where some 250,000 people live is poured into these ponds every day. Over time, this became an extremely dangerous situation for those residing in the surrounding areas. In 2007, one of the settling pools of human waste broke through an embankment and spilled downhill. The ensuing flood tore through some of these houses. Barak Abu Safra was amongst the victims.
When the water and sludge arrived, my house was the first one in its path. My entire house was swept away, and then it took away the following house and the one after that. The water destroyed everything. It killed my son and my mother.
The disaster called for an urgent solution to be put in place. The top priority was to reduce water levels at the old treatment plant by pumping the outflow and transferring it to another site a few kilometers away. Engineer Saadi Ali takes us there.
It was threatening more than 10,000 inhabitants. In order to do this, you need to take the water from there. And we managed to evacuate the lake, but also need to continue pumping.
International donors such as the World Bank and the French Development Agency are part of this effort. Their goal is to build and complete as soon as possible a facility which will treat millions of cubic meters of wastewater every year. This will protect the lives of thousands of Gaza residents in the north, their health, and the underground water table, which lies right nearby.
Wastewater is reaching the water table underground. This means that the source of drinking water for these people is currently being polluted. So it's urgent to treat this water in order to resolve the environmental threat.
This is an exceptional project for the Gaza Strip in size and in the financial investment it represents, $80 million. Welcome to Ingest, the North Gaza Emergency Sewage Treatment Plant. The project is a race against time in a unique setting. For the moment, the sewage water is being dumped into these ponds right next to the site of the future plant. This is called infiltration treatment. The water is naturally filtered by the minerals in the earth. This process is grossly insufficient and has a negative impact on the environment. It is an emergency and temporary solution until the station is ready. But building on this land is a challenging task. Israel is just a few hundred meters away, where these watchtowers mounted with automated rifles stand guard. This engineer's role is to coordinate with the Israeli army. He gets up early every day in order to request a permit from his point of contact on the other side. Without it, workers are not allowed on the site.
I have to call him at before 7 o'clock today because the permission, the allowable to enter the site is from 7 o'clock in the morning up to 6 o'clock in the evening.
However, when he arrives at the office, the news coming in from the other side is not good.
I منير ايش الوضع؟ لا مكاتب ولا موقع؟ اوكي منير. Okay, he refused to enter the site because the situation is very hot. Okay. Now the procedure, I shall call the contractor to leave the site. Nobody will be in the site now.
Outside, a new round of violence between Israel and Gaza is underway.
You hear? This is the voice of the rock.
The engineer laughs bitterly because he knows that this means that dozens of workers will now have to leave the site where works will be delayed, while the wastewater keeps on coming. Several days later, the site opens again. There's no time to lose, and for many of the 150 laborers, this work represents a precious source of income.
There is no other work in Gaza. This is the last real job around. Once it's done, I'll go home and have nothing else to do other than sleep. This is the biggest work site, and there's no money elsewhere.
The technical manager for the local contractor tells us that getting raw materials into Gaza has not been his main problem. 2 years ago, he was able to purchase the 35,000 tons of gravel needed to complete the concrete structures. However, getting foreign experts with their much-needed knowledge to come to the site often proves to be challenging.
All these conditions makes it really difficult and to construct such a project and make life so difficult, especially for foreigners. Let's say if he comes to work here in Gaza as an engineer, he want to do some works. He want things to be easy for him. He don't want to put his life at risk.
Thibault Leloc is one of the foreign consultants working on the project. He has been supervising its implementation for the past 2 years. He takes us to the heart of the future treatment plant.
Alors là, nous sommes au cœur des bassins d'aération.
We are at the center of the basins,
Les organes
which are the most crucial part of an activated sludge treatment plant. This is where the wastewater will be mixed with water which contains bacteria. These bacteria break down solids.
North Gaza's sewage water will soon be pouring into these huge basins. Propellers will mix the sludge with a potent formula of water and bacteria. Air will be injected into all that through these pipes in order to break up solids. In the end, water suitable for drinking and agriculture will be the result.
This will be available to 250,000 residents, thanks to technology which is used all around the world. Also, the level of treatment which it provides is of good quality.
Some of the international players involved in ingest see it as an opportunity for Palestinians in Gaza to demonstrate their ability to successfully implement an ambitious project approved by Israel. The next step will be finding local co-workers to manage and operate the biggest treatment plant ever built in the Strip.
We're finishing up the works on the site, then we'll do test runs. For this, we will need highly qualified technical supervisors with a lot of experience. They will need to be ready a year from now. I believe that we will find and train the right people for that. We will do on-site training for a year and they'll be ready in due time, God willing.
Despite numerous delays, works are well underway and the site is expected to be fully operational by 2014. In the meantime, Gaza continues to discharge wherever it can millions of cubic meters of wastewater, often in the sea, which is the main source of income for fishermen who continue diving right next to sewage outlets in poor sanitary conditions. The United Nations recently issued a report warning that if Gaza's infrastructure does not improve rapidly, the coastal enclave will not be a place fit to live by 2020. By then, there will be more than 2 million Gazans, and their water consumption will have increased by 60%.
Well, that's it for this edition of Planet Hope. You can watch again on our website by logging on to france24.com. That's france24.com. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.